Now, we've talked about the difference in the past about social advertising or paid social versus paid search, right? Google, Microsoft, that kind of thing. And we like to say is the difference between conscious versus unconscious advertising, right?
Yes.
Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call it, that is great at, is picked up on so many unconscious, mindless scrolling, doom scrolling signals, and that stuff gets real deep. Whether Google has those same amount of signals or quality of signals is a question. And maybe that's part of one of the reasons they push all of these other new campaign types that are all about expanding, because maybe they know we're way behind on those type of unconscious behavioral signals. We need to get them. The only way we're going to do that is to push this. Now, that's just tinfoil hat thinking, but I just, it leads me to the question, why do you think that Google struggles so much compared to social advertising channels in terms of this type of brand awareness marketing? What do you think they're missing? Do you think it'll ever change? Would you ever advise using it at all?
I actually think it's gotten worse with PMax. I actually think they could have had a chance to really supersede it. I just don't know how they just
Drop the ball.
I think they focused more, and you're probably aware of this, that they focused more on how can we push more placements rather than make the product more superior.
Yeah, the selling point was sort of we can get more conversion signals by being able to watch across all of these different placements, right? And we'll be able to really identify new customer acquisition and conversions for you. But whether or not that was what you actually saw in your account varies quite dramatically.
Yeah, look, the nature of these channels, you've just got to take them for what they're good at and discard the rest. And these new things, it's good to try things new things out, but you've got to set a real clear boundary with it. So rather than just like run it and just kind of mindlessly run it, you go, here is the budget allocation. So there's a financial ceiling, like this is as much we're spending on it. Number two is these would be the benchmarks or outcomes for us to assess if it was successful or not. Not just running it and just going, how did it go? Like having a really clear going, this is, before we run anything, before any data comes in, this is what success would look like if it worked out. And then benchmarking against that. And then also doing it across enough accounts over a certain amount of time. So you're not only just getting the bias of one account, but multiple accounts. So then like obviously the data can smooth out. And over a certain period of time, you'd be able to see. But man, look, I know like for e-commerce, these things are really good, but for lead generation, it's a different beast, because lead generation tends to be when people are in that intent of the moment looking on the Google networks. Facebook, I'm still so surprised, because I think Facebook really does know how to target the right people at the right time, even when they don't have the right search intent. Like, sorry, they don't have a search intent because they're not searching.
Yeah.
I can say this because I've got another business I run. Like I'm a director and I'm running the ads for it. And we've done like over $200,000 in sales in the last 2 months just from meta ads in a very, very, very niche B2B industry. It's B2B and it's niche. And the leads are coming from Facebook. The conversations, we've had about 40 leads come through, like exceptional quality. Can't run any Google ads for this because people aren't specifically looking for this. I wouldn't be able to run any ads on the display network. Like I would, like it's just not there. Like with Facebook, you can really target the type of people. Now you can do that on LinkedIn, and I'm running ads on LinkedIn as well. We've only had about 2 leads from LinkedIn, 20% conversion rate, but like we've got a small budget there. It's more that there's something with the Facebook and Meta network that allows you to, if you want to be doing more cold or warm, like prospective traffic, that's the place to go. It's just magical. And this is a dude who's been doing Google ads for like 10 years, who was like a Google ads advocate. And now I'm just an advocate of what makes money.
Yeah, of course.
So
that's what you're getting paid to do, is to make the money, not to know what buttons to push, right?
And now I'm my own client. That's the thing. It's like these aren't like, oh, because it's Google, like let me just pump out like new things because like it'll make me look good in front of the client. It's because I need to make money for clients. I need to make money for myself. I need to make money for my businesses. I'm doing exactly what I do for clients for myself now, and vice versa. And that's why there's only an upward spiral, because I'm not getting caught in like new trends or new things. I'm like, what's the probability this is going to work? What's the likelihood? What would be the data set to suggest that this is successful? What's the benchmark? And then more importantly, what's the quality of the lead as well? Beyond just like the quantity and the cost per lead and all that, what's the quality of the lead? Because we've done quite a bit of lead generation with Performance Max, and the numbers look good, but either the numbers look good because it's extracting brand search or they're bot leads. So that's a real challenge.
You know what I find is it's really interesting. It seems like a real conundrum here, if I could use that term, because for lead generation based businesses, you are usually in a slow sales cycle, and the amount of leads that you're getting, especially that are quality or sometimes just in general, depending how niche the marketplace is, can be very low, which smart bidding has issues with. As we know, the less data points any machine learning algorithm is going to struggle. Yet they understand that because it's a slow sales cycle, the more informed the customer can be prior to a click that costs a lot of money, like a bottom of funnel search based click. The more informed they are, the more qualified they are, the less work the salespeople have to do, and maybe there isn't as much of a retention problem, right? So you're battling with this issue as that type of business where you say the lead volume is low, the marketplace is really competitive. There's not a ton of customers in the universe of customers that are available to us. And we're always worried about quality because we only have such a big sales team, right? So you think naturally and inherently, well, let's do these types of campaigns that, create branding awareness, that do visual storytelling, that are going to nurture the pipeline. It all sounds like that is the smart move, but yet these types of campaigns, they are really geared towards a smart bidding based approach, or based on automated targeting and things like this. And they also take a ton of time to ramp up. And there's less control with these as well, right? Like obviously you do have some exclusions and targeting settings that you can change. You can use different bidding strategies. You can use maximize clicks, for example, but you don't get the manual bidding unless we're talking about like a display campaign or something. But isn't that interesting? Because I can see this happening as a trap over and over for low spend, low volume lead generation based companies. That they feel like this is the right move, but in a lot of cases it might be they need to really get their expectations right, that this is a long, arduous, this is going to be a painful process of spending a lot of money to learn. And I don't often find, you tell me if you've experienced differently, these companies don't really have the bandwidth or the profitability to take 3 to 6 months for these things to start figuring things out, or might not even work out at all.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. And I couldn't agree more. It's just thinking about a business owner, and you said like with a small budget, and let's just preface it with that, because all businesses are at different stages, but it really depends on the budget allocation. You go to a multi-billion-dollar company that's like, our budget's $5,000 a month. And you could have companies that are doing $500,000 and they're like, their budget's $10,000 a month. So the budget also gives the flexibility towards the diversity. And look, if you've got $100,000 budget and you can only cap out at $20,000 on search, you've got $80,000 for exploration. So you want to, this would be me and this is me. You run a small business, it's a niche market, or you're doing lead generation. I would, and this is just personally now, I would start off with meta ads, but you've got to send it to a landing page. Landing page, because you can clearly define the message, have a call to action, have a high conversion rate. So just knowing that instead of sending it to a website where the conversion rate could be 1 to 2%, you send it to a landing page where your conversion rate could be 5 to 15%. So already you're arbitraging the lead possibility and probability there by 3 to 10 times up to. Number two, if the budget was small, I would actually be starting off with those a very simple meta campaign, doing some prospecting audiences, so like cold audiences. Also setting up like a retargeting audience. So people who have come to your website, either your actual website or the landing page, you're retargeting them on the Facebook or Instagram, because when they're in that network, once that's done, because you'll start getting leads there. move over to Google Ads. Now, the reason why I keep getting more and more when new clients come to us and I'm like, we should start off with Meta rather than Google's, because Google's expensive, dude. Like,
Yeah.
if you've got a client who, like a small business who's like budgets, like it could be 1,000, 2,000. Like, people aren't just rolling in it like all of our big clients. Is they might only have $2,000, and that's still a lot of money. But if your cost per click's $5, you're really not going to be getting that many clicks to turn into a conversions, then turn into sales. And like once again, if you got $5 cost per click, how many clicks is that? I can't even do my quick maths right now. $2,000 divided by 5. It's like 400 clicks.
I'm gonna let you struggle through it.
There you go. So then you got, it's 400, isn't it? I'm like, really, like in like, let's just say your conversion. What was that?
I said it's early. Don't worry about it.
But then as you kind of move down going, well, if my conversion rate's 1 to 2%, you're only getting X, like a certain amount of leads. And then after you only get a certain amount of leads, how many are turning into sales? So that $2,000 plus all the management costs and other things could not actually elicit a sale out of it. And then if you need a faster, like a sales cycle with a bit of more velocity around lead velocity or sales velocity, it's just not going to happen. So that's why I'm thinking like always do something on the landing page or website that increases the conversion rate. So no matter what channel you go for, you can start getting that traffic in. Facebook ads like prospecting with retargeting, Google Ads search, that's enough to start off with. Once that's happened, you just set up your like a audience and then on Google and just have like a YouTube retargeting audience targeting the right locations, but people have been to the website again. If you've done that, that's like a pretty like bulletproof strategy around lead generation.
Assuming you have the assets to support that, right?
Yeah.